Hello and welcome to my review of the Warhammer 40,000 Conquest issue 56. This is a well-stocked issue. It will cost you £7.99. All of the issues cost you that much, although this one includes a huge number of models. It's essentially one of the sprues from the Dark Imperium set. If you don't know what that set is, go and check it out right now. It's a very decent set that includes, unfortunately, monopose models, but a nice sized Space Marine Primaris army and a nice sized Death Guard army. And what this Conquest magazine subscription has done is it's drip fed you all of those sprues that are included in the set, you know, except for the big rule book and the dice and other bits and bobs. So this magazine is great if you haven't got that Dark Imperium set. If you have, it's still not too bad. You're just going to have some duplicate models, still good to add to your collection. What I mean by that is the 5 Intercessors at the back. Well, a box set of 10 Intercessors, you can't get them in 5s anymore I don't think, costs you £35. So if you were to split that, for instance, and say it's £17.50, that's still a saving of £9.50 by getting just the 5 Intercessors in this. You also get... And yes, I know that you don't get the full kits with the different bolt rifles, but still, they are Intercessors nonetheless. Then you also get 2 lieutenants right here. They typically set you back £20 each, and then you get an ancient. Currently, the only way to get the ancient is through the Dark Imperium set or through this subscription. So it might be worth picking up this issue if you just want to get one of these ancients. Unfortunately, Games Workshop haven't made an ancient in Terminator armour. That would be cool to get hold of. But until that happens, you get the ancient in this. I will be going through the magazine now. I will be going through the magazine, looking at the detail on the models, doing some size comparisons, and then going through the rules for each of these units. There are 3 units in this set, so it's going to be a pretty long one, guys. Okay, let's have a look at the magazine then. So issue 56, it has all of the Primaris on the front. Then you've got a little bit about the Ancients, some more about them, chapter organisation with Reboot Gilliman and Marnius Calgar. Then you've got the different companies, absolutely brilliant. If you're building your own chapter like myself, then it goes through all, you know, which units are in which company. I think they've done that a couple of times in this subscription. Raise the banner high. Look a little bit, a bit of fiction there for the Great Knights. A couple of pages, it's nice. How to build Space Marine reinforcements. So this is the big sprue that you get in the Dark Imperium set. These aren't push to fit models, but they are monopose models. What that means is it means that you will need glue to glue all of the parts together, and it also means that you can only put them in one pose unless you do a little bit of conversion, cut some of the plugs off, and then you can reposition their heads and their arms and things like that. So it gives you a build guide for all of the models. The 3 sort of characters are on the 40mm bases, which are Terminator bases, and then the rest of the Intercessors are on the 32mm bases, as shown here. I got an extra 40mm base in my magazine, if you saw the unboxing yesterday. Ah well, that's cool. How to paint them. It goes through painting the red of the Sergeant, and yeah, they look quite decent. Defend the colours, capture the banner, and then a couple of rules. I wouldn't acknowledge these rules at all. I would stick to your rules from your Space Marine Codex that came out last year in September time, and then a little bit of an advert for the next 2 issues. 57, that's just going to be a first look and review that I'm going to do for you, and then issue 58 is the attack bike. So move that out of the way, and let's have a look at these models then. There's not a huge amount of detail on them. They are Space Marines at the end of the day, but they're in some all right poses, you know, whereby if you built, if you had this selection before, you're not going to notice that much. I like this one sort of standing forward. Maybe I put his head in the wrong position, but I think that kind of works for me. He's walking forward, got this massive bolt rifle there. Each one is a bit unique in terms of the pistols that they've got and their pouches. That's one of the good things about these monopose miniatures, is that they've got these customized pouches and accessories all already on, and the purity seals. So you only have to put the the arms on, the head, the power plant, and squeeze the legs and the chest together, I suppose. This one looks very similar to the first Codex, that kind of pose. The blue is coming up quite odd. I do a size comparison with this guy all the time. I'm sure I've got him somewhere painted. And then this one, bit of a strange angle. That one, a strange pose. And then this one, that's quite a nice sort of stoic pose. That's quite a nice upright, aiming down the sights pose. Then you got the lieutenant, one of the lieutenants, the shooty lieutenant, I want to call him, with the drum magazine, or the auto bolt rifle, with his lieutenant helmet there, and a bolt pistol. And then this lieutenant with the sword, nice kind of gladius type sword. He's got a little box there, skulls, and then a nice eagle on his right greave, bolt pistol, and so on, pouches. I like the attention to detail that there isn't a bolt pistol in the pouch. It's but they've modelled it anyway. And then the ancient, really cool ancient, lovely massive banner. A bit tricky to glue, but you glue the model on the base, and then glue the wrist and the bottom of the banner to the base at the same time. That sort of worked for me with a proper bolt rifle. Brilliant. So lovely minis. Let's do some size comparisons. So to start off with, there's no point in doing any size comparisons with Intercessors themselves, because, well, they are all Intercessors. But I will do a little size comparison with a normal Space Marine. I've done these size comparisons so many times, but there you go. That's the big difference. They're kind of like a foot taller. They're, in my opinion, what Space Marines should be, the size. But they've kind of written it into the fluff and all the rest of it. But yeah, far bigger. Anyway, that is next to a normal Space Marine, or an old legacy Space Marine. I just want to do a size comparison with a bike. I don't know why, but here's a bike. Yeah, they just look odd, the older ones now, compared to the Intercessors. And then compared to the Death Guard, here's a normal Death Guard Plague Marine. Similar heights, these Death Guard are a little bit shorter. I mean, obviously they are bloated. They're just a bit bigger than normal Space Marines. They kind of bridge the gap. They're not as tall as the Primaris, but they're a little bit taller than normal Space Marines, which, yeah, makes sense. And then Blightlord Terminator, might as well. They are bigger, just a smidgen taller and way more bulkier. So there you go. That's a little size comparison with all those models. Let's get straight into the rules part of the review, and we'll kick off with the lieutenants. So you find the rules for these lieutenants in your brand new Space Marine Codex. They pretty much act as the right hands for the captains. They provide flexibility, helping to direct the battle brothers, and they're typically entrusted with the direct battlefield command of a demi company or strike force. They handle squad level combat logistics, which allow the captains to focus on the wider strategic picture of the entire war zone. Some chapters give the lieutenants like a bodyguard role to the captain, and some lieutenants actually go about questioning their captain's strategies and actions. In game terms, though, they are an HQ choice, but you can have 2 in 1 unit choice. So Primaris lieutenants are a power points cost of a 4 and points cost of 65 per model, so right there without the weapons it's 130 points. Their stat line reads movement of 6 inches, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness both 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8 and a save of 3+. How do they compare to a Primaris Captain then? Well, they have a worse ballistic skill at the 3+, and they only have 5 wounds instead of 6, but 5 is still nothing to be scoffed at. And also they only have 4 attacks instead of the 5 attacks, and their leadership is slightly worse. They also don't have access to the, you know, the Iron Halo, and the only other armour that's available to them is just the Phobos armour. So the unit contains 1 Primaris Lieutenant, and it can additionally contain 1 Primaris Lieutenant. Every model is equipped with a bolt pistol, mastercrafted auto bolt rifle, frag grenades and crack grenades. So you've only got 2 different types of bolt rifle here. You've got the auto bolt rifle, which is a range 24-inch, assault 3, strength 4, AP 0, but a damage of 2. And the mastercrafted stalker bolt rifle is a range 36-inch, heavy 1, strength 4, AP -2, and a damage of 3. Any model can be equipped with one of the following instead of 1 mastercrafted auto bolt rifle: 1 mastercrafted stalker bolt rifle, 1 power sword. So basically you're swapping your long range for a power sword, or you're swapping your auto bolt rifle for a longer range stalker bolt rifle. But no mention of power fists or axes or anything like that. Other chapters do have access to different ranged and melee weapons. Abilities: Angels of Death, tactical precision, reroll wound rolls of 1 for attacks made by models in friendly chapter units whilst their unit is within 6 inches of this model. That's one of the main reasons why you'll get this, is because you can reroll those rolls of 1 for attacks within 6 inches. They are very good buffers, especially if you add them with they are a very, very good buff unit, because it's chapter units. So any unit, you can reroll those ones for attacks. And then company heroes. During deployment, every model in this unit must be set up at the same time, though they do not need to be set up in unit coherency. From that point onwards, each model is treated as a separate unit. So this only applies if you've got them like I have there as 2. Just set them up, but not within unit coherency. Keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, chapter, character, infantry, Primaris, and lieutenants. Okay, let's move on to the Ancient then. So there are 3 different types of Ancient. This is the Primaris Ancient. You've also got a Company Ancient, and you've got an Ancient in Terminator armour. So this Primaris Ancient, he is a separate elite choice. Only 1 model. Has a power points cost of a 4 and a points cost of 69. His movement speed is 6 inches, his weapon skill and ballistic skill both 3+, his strength and toughness are both 4, it's got 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8 and a save of 3+. Is a single model equipped with a bolt pistol, bolt rifle, frag grenades and crack grenades. They work as usual. His ability is Angels of Death, and then this is the main reason you'll get him, is because he holds the Astartes banner. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic of chapter units whilst they are within 6 inches of any friendly chapter ancients. When a chapter infantry or chapter biker model is destroyed within 6 inches of any friendly chapter ancients, roll 1d6 before removing that model from play. On a 4+, that model can either shoot with one of its ranged weapons as if it were your shooting phase, or make 1 attack with one of its melee weapons as if it were the fight phase. That's pretty good. So already you're adding 1 to the leadership. And then if anything's destroyed within 6 inches of him, you've got a 50-50 chance of being able to shoot with its ranged weapon or make 1 attack with its melee weapon. Again, very decent unit to have near a captain with a good melee weapon, or another unit that has a decent ranged weapon. He's going to allow them to have that final effort to destroy the enemy unit. Keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, chapter, character, infantry, Primaris, ancient. So a good little buffing unit there for the 65 points cost, for the 69 points cost. Okay, this is it, the moment you've all been waiting for. The 5 Intercessors. Okay, you've probably heard many reviews of the Primaris Intercessors and their rules before, but let's just go through them. They are, of course, a troop choice. They're a power points cost of a 5 and a points cost of 17 per model. So they're not too expensive. Their stat line reads movement of 6 inches, weapon skill and ballistic skill both 3+, strength and toughness of 4, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7 and a save of 3+. The unit contains 1 sergeant and 4 intercessors, so I'll go through the stat line of the sergeant. It's exactly the same, except the sergeant gets 3 attacks and has a leadership of 8. It can additionally contain up to 5 intercessors. Every model is equipped with bolt pistol, bolt rifle, frag grenades and crack grenades. All of these models have bolt rifles, except for 2 of them, which you could technically say they've got stalker bolt rifles, which is the sergeant and the intercessor on the right hand side. So the maximum unit size for these is going to be 10. I'll go through the bolt rifles then. So the auto bolt rifle, which none of them have, is a range 24-inch, assault 3, strength 4, AP 0 and damage 1, same as the lieutenant that I went through. The stalker bolt rifle, again same as the lieutenant, which is a range of 36 inches, heavy 1, strength 4, AP -2 and a damage of 2. And then the main bolt rifle, which most of them are equipped with, is a range 30-inch, rapid fire 1, strength 4, AP -1 and a damage of 1. You've got a few war gear options which you can't really take in terms of this supplied unit. Every model can be equipped with 1 auto bolt rifle instead of 1 bolt rifle. That's every model, so you can't just pick and choose. And every model can be equipped with 1 stalker bolt rifle instead of 1 bolt rifle. The intercessor sergeant can be equipped with one of the following instead of 1 bolt rifle: 1 auto bolt rifle or 1 stalker bolt rifle, 1 chainsword, 1 hand flamer. So technically he has got a stalker bolt rifle there. If the intercessor sergeant is not equipped with 1 chainsaw, he can additionally be equipped with 1 weapon from the intercessor sergeant's weapons list. And then for every 5 models in the unit, 1 model that is equipped with 1 bolt rifle, 1 auto bolt rifle or 1 stalker bolt rifle can have an auxiliary grenade launcher. And that's in the multi-part kit. It's pretty cool. You've got a grenade launcher, like an underslung one, on the bolt rifle. Abilities: Angels of Death, and then auxiliary grenade launcher, which I will go through even though you don't get one in this set. If a model has an auxiliary grenade launcher, grenade weapons that model is equipped with have a range characteristic of 30 inches, so just buffs the range of the grenades that they've got. And then combat squads. If this unit contains 10 models, then during deployment, before any units have been set up, it can be divided into 2 units of 5 models. That's quite self-explanatory. Keywords: Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, Chapter, Infantry Primaris and Intercessor Squad. So there you go. That is my review of issue 56. I think it's a fantastic issue. If you were to get all of these models individually, it would cost you almost £80, which is a huge amount of money. Luckily though, you can't get a few of these models individually, and if you haven't got the Dark Imperium set, this issue is an absolute steal. And it's also quite fun if you wanted to add to your Space Marine Primaris force. What do you guys think? Please do put it in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.